Hello everyone, welcome to In the Studio, snare rolls. A very common, some might say overly used technique for adding tension, building energy. It's a widely used technique because it works, and I think it's still a very valid technique when it's used in the right place at the right time. What I'm going to show you here today is some tips and tricks that I like to use to add a little extra life and excitement to my snare rolls. So we're in a current project of mine. It's a remix I'm working on. I'm deep into the arrangement. There's still a lot of work to be done, but I'll give you a little preview here. So. Okay, so that's the track. So I'm going to see if a little snare roll will work right here, right before that little drop. I don't know if it's going to, but we're going to find out. So I just want to show you some of the techniques I like to use. So the snare I'm going to try is this one here. And let's go ahead and send this to the piano roll and just put down a simple little pattern here. So I'm just going to take this and paint 16th notes across here. And then while everything's selected, I'm going to hold my right click, and you can draw a curve. So I'm going to do that with the velocities, go pretty much all the way up. I usually like to use velocities rather than volume for rolls like this. So now we have our snare roll. Let's hear how that sounds. Okay, so for a second I'm just going to loop this up, and the first thing I'm going to do is add a pitch bend. So we'll go to the sampler here, and I'm just going to right click and create an automation clip for the pitch. We'll pitch that up one semitone. Let me give it a little bit of a curve, and let's add a little reverb as well. I'm going to solo this for a second. I'm just going to grab the Fruity Reverb 2. I'll just pull this out wide. Maybe decrease the decay slightly to around 1 second at a low cut, and just automate the wet level. So I'll give it some reverb right off the get, but we'll just automate this up over this 8-bar section here. And the next thing I'm going to do is add a delay. Grab the Fruity Delay 3 here, and I'm just going to loop up a section of this for 1 minute here. So the reason I'm adding this delay isn't necessarily for delay. I want to thicken it up. So I'm going to select a 8th note here, probably turn the mix down a little bit, and the feedback down, and let's have a listen to that. As you can hear there, it just kind of thickens the sound out a little bit, or thickens the sound up out a little bit. So, and you also get a nice little bit of carryover at the end, so it doesn't just immediately stop, which can be nice sometimes. Like that. And then when I do this, I'll usually add some sort of distortion. I like to use the Fruity Delay 3 because I could add distortion right here, or bit crush it, or reduce the sample rate. And then, yeah, I might recommend maybe rolling off some of the top end of the delay, but this is just here to thicken the snare up a little bit. So we have that in, and then this could be something that maybe you could automate. You could automate the mix of this. Might be something interesting to automate, but for now I'm just going to leave it static just like this. Okay, so the next thing I want to add is an EQ, and what we're going to do with this is a resonance sweep. So I'm going to detach. Oh, it is detached already. So we're going to add a little peak here, and we start somewhere here around 200-ish. I'm going to create an automation clip for the frequency of that band. And what I'm going to do is raise, or have this resonance sweep go all the way up, and then have it sweep back down. And we'll try maybe 1 bar before the drop. So let's have a listen, see how that sounds in the context here. Okay, it's not bad. In this particular track, I don't think a snare roll really fits right there for me personally. And maybe it's just the snare that I picked isn't the right one. But these techniques are things that I've done in actual tracks that I've actually released. So I do think these work in certain circumstances, and it's just a couple things that I've done in the past to, you know, make my snare rolls, or at least try to make my snare rolls a little bit more interesting. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Leave me a comment or question. As always, I do really enjoy hearing from everyone and getting questions and whatnot. So I'll catch you soon. Take care.